Yemedi nkomo kakra foreign stories no. And 7 p.m. Summer man. Nyasam ketu akra Tottenham omni Manchester United. Europa League final game. And also ebekosu ho Bilbao. Sanso enra Bournemouth omni Man City at the tie Man City nani omo kamiensa omo etimu bakon Kevin De Bruyne. The last game obebo wabo ewo Etihad and so no. Na Mamu's goal no just say
you know that guy
Andy
that guy is the next to take over from Mo Salah.
Okay.
On say Michael Essien, Didier Drogba. And I drop am the bar ya to be taking over.
Yeah.
I'm talking about our African brothers now. Me fan from 2000 Bano. Drogba the Essien the bar BC certain level. Essien confirm because of injuries. And Didier Drogba back crown everything at the Allianz Arena in 2012. And Chelsea J Champions League, you know. Eto ba Chelsea ba na hoden wo fam. Let's not forget Yenya Lorraine time in Meyamu in the early 2000s. No, me part of the Arsenal Invincible, the Kolo Touré.
Okay.
But after Drogba, the next person or the flag ne koye Yaya Touré. And I know Yaya Touré could more to a certain level. Right Maris be jig flag ne from Yaya Touré ho. And from moving to Leicester City and Oba team friend in Manchester City. Let's not forget he was so key to the Claudio Ranieri team now, the the Premier League in 2016, and Riyad Mahrez was just unplayable. And I said, you also become who be no more. Then Mo Salah be taking over, and Salah had been consistent from the very first day of joining Liverpool at the baby scene there. And you know, the next guy to take over, this is in Africa players now perform a part, you know.
Okay.
Brian Buemo of Brentford, solid. It is never surprising say Liverpool and Manchester United after him. Ofa Wesa, Brentford, 19 goals and also the Brentford. You know, I'm not that attention. That guy is also playing well. Even the last Africa Cup of Nations, Oba and Obie Hunemodebo. These two guys are playing very well. Kudus Adrepo, but again, Anton Semenyo, so you know, on also Modebo Swani in the Premier League this season. And then one was no at Liverpool, no at Man United. But for me, the next guy to take over from Mo Salah is the Egyptian international, Omar Mamouche. You know, Man City in Koyi and Pep Guardiola.
I also say I can't want to be like a goal issue. And then I go. Yes.
Manchester City in Koyi and Pep was smart. No Kofani January. Ome adapted to the Premier League. No. Into next season or the new Medford the bad or the call left. And now born behind Ellen Halanda almost as I know more. And you know, look at that goal. Look at that goal. What she goes be outside the 18 box. But look at the technique behind that goal. She the position of who say kept dinner. She baby who said the enhancing dinner. And look at how hit ball no more ball no cotton it. And that's surprising from Egyptians. Only say the 80-40 more baller. The Buttereke, the Hosnis, all those guys, players are almost hit the ball from afar. But Omar Mamouche for me is the next Egyptian king. And is the next guy to take over from Mo Salah in the Premier League.
Wow. So say at the City. Adura top 4 Eddie qualify for Champions League next season. Yes.
Say no. Obiya destination in sem. Obiya destination in sem. City bebo against Fulham at the Craven Cottage. But say pressure any also. Pressure any Liverpool, so pressure any Arsenal so. Say hina pressure naba. Say Joe, who do team then with their City ground? Huge pressure. Chelsea biggest game on Bebon this is your match there Bebasono at the City ground.
Yeah.
It we just win a game and qualify to the Champions League. And advantage that Newcastle United won over Chelsea no. Newcastle Bebon was St. James against Everton. And to just win your game and you are good to go. And Chelsea Beko away. Aston Villa and so Beko against Manchester United. And said, "Yo, Obianim say United in the Premier League this season, you cannot rely on them." And Aston Villa chance against Man United and was through. Newcastle United against Everton, almost chances no was through. But the Chelsea against Nottingham Forest at the City ground said, "Yo, and none of them match. It was so watching because a game Obia Chelsea say, Omo character da yenim The kind of performance I'm putting it up in the last 5 games, apart from losing at the St. James Parker, this is another game to test their mentality. This is another game to test Enzo Maresca. This is another game to show to the world, they say, Chelsea are back to the Champions League and they need top players to add up to the squad. Into a final game at the City Ground.
We Chelsea for 100, Emube 88. In who's a bit my against Nottingham.
Oh, is that Joe?
Yes. Against team. But Nottingham. Minimum 15. Much deep.
So Chelsea.
Yes.
Eddie. Because I feel a City Ground honor and easy. But your games when you game of tactics in India. Game where you game was a place them about themselves. No mutim ye baby. Because where they just win a game and play in the Champions League. Because Nottingham Forest for no Mombebo Europe dada.
Yeah.
And the motivation to play in the Champions League no was so. Say Chelsea mumu be san kofem bio. It is you. Me who they Nottingham Forest the Chelsea. They no the Chelsea. Is it Anthony Langa? Is it Callum Hudson-Odoi? Is it Chris Wood? Is it Danilo? Is it Ryan Artis? Is it Dominic Guest? Nathan Williams ana? Sales goalkeeper nana? Nikola Milenkovic? Is it Mourinho, the 2 centre backs? Or Ole Aina? You know, we normally tell Chelsea. In the Chelsea with the material to compete that battle. And I think say Omwane also who say no. For them to show that pride, the pride of London, for them to come back to the Champions League, you know, Chelsea need to step up. And I'm expecting them to step up.
Wow. And the Kevin De Bruyne.
You know,
why you be a City?
Said you, why you be Bree or Manchester City?
Yeah.
About Chelsea, no, I'm fat. No, call Werder Bremen. Or Saba back and fat. And I'll call Wolfsburg. In 2015-2016 season, you know, and Manchester City did £55 million a buy. He was the second most expensive player to Fabian Angel Di Maria. Out of Real Madrid, a baby team of Manchester United. Assassin is smooth. And Obi Oshen and Manuel Pellegrini no born from the left. Into now who flashes from a player who failed to live up at Chelsea. Into flashes in the but now who the real KDB. Until the real val of Pep Guardiola. And Guardiola buy no. And Obe set up a new midfield. A new midfield of Fernandinho as the base, David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. Do you know? And the Manchester City Chelsea said, almost she will be our Premier League.
Yeah.
Technically, David Silva was on top. But the brain behind the Pep Guardiola dominance in the Premier League, it is because of Kevin De Bruyne. His ability to link the midfield and the attack. His ability to progress the ball from the central midfield to the final third. Say game blue tempo ne ba famous drop put deep. Ebe set up the tone in central midfield. And one thing I like about him, how he pick the pocket of spaces and attack. Playmakers ni be bridge no a. Eya ne mpempi uta hu omo ano ana mfimfi. Enti park ne so do e bia uche miensa omo mienu. Ade ba ko a KDB ya no similar to Ricardo Kaka. How picking the pocket of space and the final third. And only idea na Jude Bellingham here in last season and money goes ne more. Space na what that would do achi. Space that hosilu achi. Space that vini achi no. And na Jude efa. And ade ba ko de be kai KDB pa yesadium. Ball no mo game na obi won so wakwa kodina ba bia Mares gina no. Ana wakwa kodina ka walk anim. Obebusa won say he play operating from the right way. No. Well, Timia picking that pocket of space on the right side now who said there be a quite out into a man or incisive cross will be said oh or tune a bar a JD change jacket. So what's a game they quite on Saka could the left side? No playmaking from the left. And why most of our back behind the 18-year-old person no be pace. I hate it. That is Kevin De Bruyne. It's just unfortunate that in the Champions League final I'm running in Argentina. But I come no Chelsea boy no prayer no continent against Inter Milan or continue. But Sergio, the gods of football never disappointed him. Utiminya the Champions League no at the Manchester City. And Sergio, go me the back kaino in screamer at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid. Or the Gabriel Jesus 2-1. Do you know? Baby, we didn't come fast or hit a ball. we've had several top midfielders in the Premier League. Steven Gerrard, Frank James Lampard, Paul Scholes. I want to hit the ball from afar to so on, but you know his technique is clearly different.
Yeah.
Said you see hit the ball, both left and right. You know, said you yeah now no shit. And this is the goal against Chelsea. One of his best goals. One of his best goals in Genoa. Okay, so KDB left or right or ambidextrous. This is another goal from Kevin De Bruyne. The opposite who from a playmaker beyond. Be on to Chibe, but Genoa. Obemount creativity, Obemount goals and everything I hear from a modern playmaker. No, and only had the KDB at the Emma. And everyone say and run Pep Guardiola shed tears because you know he's been the brain behind the Pep dominance and the Juma wa body ama Manchester City no enye Juma ketwa anytime any day in the Premier League he's reliable. The last time America say Man City film no omukone was not down to Rodri.
Yeah.
It was because Abranti you did not TVC na ho den na bafem and you know he's saying goodbye to City. Pep shed tears, Sergio Aguero, Leroy Sané, Fernandinho, Omo Munini si akan nyade. He's an amazing player. Yeah. And Sergio Obieni he said
previously players, some more comfort.
Yes.
Serious.
You know, holding ball. Oh, Kokoba or Park and so and until now, I'm the captain man no massage mobile phone. But you know, egoistic, but
on the Pep.
What's it?
Who on the Pep?
Yes, on the Pep, yes. General, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Among the citizens, and I'm never surprised. Almost yesterday, he deserves it, you know. And he will go down to one of their greatest players. Yeah. Probably someone can even argue that he's the greatest.
Aguero, no.
And I'm because someone can Aguero never won the Champions League.
Okay.
Inti only time because Obi bet me argue. Wanted you know, being the best starting in Obi Ababi. So sometimes why I say
Rad Mahrez no.
Yes. A lot of players. Yaya Toure will come into the party.
Yes.
David Silva will come in. Fernandinho and all those guys excel within the City team. But you know, the consistency as compared to all these players for me makes him phenomenal. A great player, and you know, no peer celebrating Etihad. Oh, deserve the proper fair one on the man. And you know, I feel the Premier League will clearly miss him. And then one said, still I almost argue between Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, KDB, who is the greatest. You know, for me, he's one of the greatest.
Over 420 games.
Yes.
For City.
Yes.
And yes, some
Where
next?
You know,
La Liga, Serie A, Saudi versus Arab world.
Okay. Napoli for now approaches. Napoli are getting close. I feel Inter will come back. Because you know, and you must say na Giuseppe Beppe Morata ni no. But me so na kam pesen ka mon so mo na kokasa.
Chelsea.
Yes, you know.
Okay.
Push Palmer to the right. Na for no gina striker na chi. To striker papa. Say also see me maton nti me money TV. For striker papa gina ni mu. For ni gina striker na chi. Rodrigo or Rafaelio on the left. Said you get a proper goalkeeper and a centre back. Champions League no ba obeko wanim. Nti KDB there. It didn't like recession.
All right, Emreno Echo Kevin De Bruyne. Or baby ever Man City ye papa. Yanko Europa final.
Okay.
Super computer. 3-2 Tottenham. Yes.
Okay, Zedu.
Yes.
Obia so mo ye funufo. Eno ne ade a obia ka. Gino enesa open match ahwa Kosama mess.
Okay.
Match our person option obere. No criminal nyame anim so check it. Performance at two teams in the Premier League dia enkoyi. 16th position and away that 17th position. So for Manchester United out of 111 points. Omotimia to 72 points na egu this season. Over Tottenham out of 111 points almost wetimia to 73 points na egu in the Premier League. It is all the omo performance na compare in the Premier League there. Obeka so omo yenu nyina na omo ye nkoso. But you know, in the Europa Cup, Manchester United are undefeated. Obien timi show all these games omo bu nyina. It gives you a different idea about the Manchester United team and the Tottenham Hotspur team so far as the Europa League are concerned. Now, say you hear the two teams now omo eba be piemu and then Ange Postecoglou and then Ruben Amorim. these are two coaches will be a shese omo betimi aye bibi ama ne metimi akoyi two teams say omo say babo finally obi a Europa League ni bi da Tottenham Hotspur said yo omo first one omo je omo share an English side against Wolverhampton home and away that Saturday no omo bono and omo kọwe wa Moliners and a chilombe board do e the White Hart Lane omo je and almost second one it was against Anderlecht and I said you almost aje you Manchester United you know what the friends are in Stockholm or Sweden and almost to me yes and so edgy the last time a United copy final was against the Yellow Submariners Villarreal and a Man United and so elusuye these two teams are omo ya Europa Cup ni bi da nti omo ni what it kills so far as the Europa League in your concern said you so over the two teams now omo ba bi park isu ya say you fat Tottenham Hotspur omo so enya several injuries e wo omo team ni ma e betimi ha omo ene e omo so check omo team na Vicario their goalkeeper will be available of obi say Pedro Porro obebo the right back Destiny Udogie bebo Van der Ven ene Kuti Romero bebo as the two center backs midfield Bentancur bebo Bissouma bebo Pape Matassa will play and on the right side omo bebo Johnson so alright Son Heung-min on the left and then Dominic Solanke in a 4-2-3-1 general at the room. Manchester United Matthias de Ligt Kobe ba onye fit a odi betimi asi akan nti omo hwe se Luke Shaw pay his experience the level no be start ya na so Luke Shaw Lenny Yoro and then Harry Maguire as three center backs now we push Mazurai echo the right side Dogu on the left side midfield again another key decision I will be a head coach the baye Obebo Casemiro is a sure bet to start as a pivot. But when the best support no because so share the midfield of Tottenham was more control pa Papi Matassa and then Bissouma started there. Not just more control. Into you be a battle with them in terms of control. So Obebo Casemiro no man all Ugata just obelusu ball no but you look for space. Into another key decision from coach Ruben Amorim Obeye Ewoho. Now up front Ahmad is back so obviously Ahmad will be there. Bruno Fernandes and then Abrantia Yefreno, Garnacho, or Garnacho will go to the bench, and then Rasmus Hojlund. It was 6 goals in the Europa Cup. It almost an body born sweaty, but in the Europa Cup said you 6 goals. No, about lead the line. Games almost share a thing in our Tottenham and Arena 3-0, 4-3, 1-0, and general Tottenham never United. They share moody season. Almost games in a game no. Etimi akodiama Tottenham Hotspur. Inti Tottenham Hotspur for no confidence or headra omuru asama mesa na omu beye training na obon say omu guys ne sound confidence at least omu so betimi ayi bibi Manchester United so sound so confidence say omu beating run enko waste but say do in these games like this na control is very very important in the final of a competition say do your ball e de ewe ne enye wo kwa akotwetwe akodada ho na ma game ni efe Referee Felix Weza and a beba betina match with him and general 2 games are what did Yama Tottenham was playing Tottenham winning be one against Fiorentina and in a draw in 2018 Obi Obeka Coutinho match no at the White Hart Lane Barcelona 4 Tottenham was played 2 on a referee in 2 games for Tottenham was playing no Tottenham winning be 4 games for Manchester United are winning 2 Sergio and you know sweating me a draw into the omen in terms of the man now home fifth you know ominu go in for Manchester United. Said you supercomputer say 3-2.
Yeah.
Said you means me go 2-1 extra time Man United.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please, good morning. Tell Andy he can't leave Sadio Mane out when mentioning our African brothers who have made us proud. Okay. And on it. We free Ima Whiteman. Sadio Mane come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so I don't know. Emma Whiteman. Baby, I will be a mamincha when they are. All right, Joe. It's exactly 17 years ago that Manchester United triumphed over Chelsea to secure the Champions League title. In addition, today celebrates the 19th anniversary of Manchester United's 2-1 FA Cup victory over Crystal Palace. May luck smile on us once again on this day. I'm convinced that the history will repeat itself tonight, and with the Reds overcoming Spurs to win the Europa League trophy. Sir Rudy, New Jersey, una odi we and so abre and anope. All right, Kora. Emmanuel Tufo, say oh here live. Michelle pa baby I will be a Jones you boss kruma. Mr. My answer way and so every hin Sunny Saliu. This Sunny Saliu. Yes, about 4 and a way a brain. Or say it all has to do with the consistency. If Mamouche can be so consistent like Mo Salah, Didier Drogba, or Yaya Toure, he will be added to that Hall of Fame. United is likely to win at Bilbao to silence its critics this evening. Spurs won't be 4th time lucky in a single season against the same club. The glittering trophy will be in Manchester United. I can't wait, sir. Wait for Sani Saliu about 4 and Odiwi and so a Bruyne. All right. Awal Mohammed. No, before I call Awal Hono. The foreign stories, say, baby, you say, Sandogwe Dr. Omanibu Amanum. Omunya discussing for. Wow. And yet easy. They just say, baby, how?
Say, Parliament, who's almost Poli, who's almost discussing Local League.
Yes.
It has always been the national team. Now, who's almost can't. But you know, ministers, if I be more follow a local league in a day, but to have ministers discussing foreign football on Facebook, it comes in with something different.
Yes.
We catch us, we come United.
Yeah.
Now more true or more so you know. I'm saying baby, foreign football not for baby.
Okay.
You can't blame anybody.
Meko awal hoba meko
so kami okiko bi of Man United ne
sa so minkase maonka. Okay, kami ko kofa ni what ka ba ore kan kami wi an kofa. Aminti me ma African stories na kam pese o ma o kan bi kakra fa de ekoso no. But o pese o kan sana makwa any problem.
Oh, say you kitwe bi Tottenham be win Europa League no.
Sir.
Yes.
Hey, utimi yi sa kasa. Why bibia na?
I'm being emphatic.
Sir.
Yes. I see them winning the Europa League title tonight.
Na too far away.
I don't see it possible.
Creative window bia fa bia.
I don't see it possible. It's football because
you are son achievement 3.
Oh,
Tottenham be winning. I see them winning. Possible. So
because too far away. Na go say too far. Tottenham.
From your first statement.
Yes.
Because that too far. Tottenham be winning there. Tottenham too far. I guess that too far. Where is your bet?
Is it Tottenham for no enko on?
Yeah, I see them winning the title.
Okay. Wow.
And returning back to London. Who said the last time at Europa League title called England, it called London.
Okay.
It called London. And okay, that money Arsenal game now about so mo winning 4-1. As a Joe Angie Postecoglou in the second season be winning title.
Yeah.
He surely win it tonight.
Hey, honestly, Akasapa or the summer to drop papa. On Man U no nafe. Tottenham no so onye ni paketwa o se wa achieve. Yes. The ene enye ngwa kra se papa no ebetimi age trophy no. But Manchester United fans hopeful say ne Europa no omo ebechi.
Unana wo ho.
All right.